Okay, everyone, welcome back and congratulations on getting through the first 3 weeks of the fall 2024 semester. So we're going to be doing some practice problems here again, 8, just like last time. Some are similar, some are different. It's just practice to get you ready for your exams. I know some of you have some exams coming up in a couple of weeks. So let's do this. So number 1. So we talked about this last time. There's a negative sign, and then there's a parentheses. So we have to distribute the negative sign into the parentheses. Okay, so how do we do that? Negative times positive 4y is going to give us negative 4y. Negative times negative 5 is going to give us positive 5, because a negative and a negative gives us a positive number. So now we do the same thing again. Negative times negative 3y is going to be positive 3y. And then negative times positive 8 is going to give us negative 8. Because a negative and a positive will give us a negative number. Equals negative 7. So now we have to combine like terms. So what can we combine on this side? We can combine negative 4y and 3y, and then we can also combine positive 5 and negative 8. So let's do that. Negative 4y plus 3y. Negative 4 plus 3 is going to give us negative 1. But since it's with a variable, we don't actually have to write the 1. So it will just be negative y plus 5 minus 8 equals negative 7. So now 5 minus 8 is negative 3. Bring that down. Negative y minus 3 equals negative 7. And now we can do, to isolate the y, we can add 3 on both sides. Add 3, add 3. Negative y equals negative 4. Nice. Okay, now for number 2, very similar. Once again, we have something outside of a parentheses that we have to distribute inside. Since here there is no addition or subtraction symbol, we just have to distribute it. Excuse me. So 1 over 7x minus, because it's a positive and a negative, and now let's multiply this up here. 1 over 7 times 14 cancels 1. 7 divided by 7 is 1. 14 divided by 7 is 2. So that's going to be 2 over 1, or 2. So minus 2 plus 1 over 8x plus, because the positive and a positive, so that's also positive. 1 over 8 times 8 over 1. Cancels, 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 cancels. So it's going to be just 1. Plus 1 equals x plus 4. Okay, now let's combine like terms. What can we combine right away? This negative 2 and positive 1. So 1 over 7x plus 1 over 8x, and then what's negative 2 plus 1? That's going to be negative 1. And in this case, we do have to write the negative 1 because it's not attached to a variable. It's an actual number. Equals x plus 4. So now we need to combine these two fractions, but we can't do that right now because they don't have a common denominator. So we have to make it so that they both have a common denominator so that addition is possible. What is a number that we can put? What's the greatest common factor between 7 and 8 that we can multiply by so that they both have the same denominator? In this case, that would be 56. That's the greatest common factor. Do this off to the side. So 1 over 7x times what is going to make the denominator be 56 times 8. So it's going to be 8 over 56x. So bring that down. 8 over 56x plus, because they're both positive, and then 1 over 8x times what will make the denominator 56. That's going to be 7. 7 over 56x. Minus 1 equals x plus 4. So what's 8 plus 7? 8 plus 8 is 16, so 8 plus 7 is going to give us 15 over 56x minus 1, bring that down, equals x plus 4. So we add 1, 15 over 56x equals, excuse me, x plus 5. Now we want to get rid of the denominator. And how do we get rid of a denominator? We multiply everything in the equation, everything, by the denominator that we want to get rid of so that it cancels out. So 56 times 15 over 56x equals 56 times x plus 56 times 5. So these would cancel, and then it will leave us with 15x equals 56x plus 56 times 5. 56 times 5 is 280. 280. So now let's subtract 56, subtract 56, and then that's going to give us 15 minus 56, negative 41. So negative 41x equals positive 280. And now to finally isolate x, we divide by negative 41, divide by negative 41. So in this case, x is going to give us, hold on, yep. So in this case, x is going to give us negative 280 over 41. Nice. Okay, now for number 3. This one's a little different, but we have also practiced this before, so let's just go through it once more. Solve the formula for the specified variable. So in these kinds of problems, we have to treat every letter that's not the one we're solving for like a regular number. So let's do this. I'm going to rewrite the equation over here, and r plus r. So if this were a regular equation with numbers, what would we want to do? We would want to get rid of the denominator. And we would do that by multiplying both sides by that denominator. Okay, so this cancels. And this is going to be I and r plus I r equals n e. So now let's switch these so that both ends are on the same side of the equation. So I and r minus an e, because since we're switching it we have to change the sign, equals negative I r, because like I said, once you switch it to the other side of the equation you have to change the sign. If it was positive, it becomes negative. If it was negative, it will become positive. Okay, now let's do this so that we can isolate the n a little bit more. Whoops. E equals negative r. And now this is being multiplied. We would want to divide by IR minus E in order to be able to isolate this n once and for all. So divide both sides by IR minus E. So these would cancel, and then n would equal negative this is an uppercase R, my bad. IR over IR minus E. And that is our answer. Nice. Number 4. Number 4 is just like the one we just did. Solve for n once again. A little more practice. Sorry if my voice is raspy. I just woke up. Okay. So I'm gonna rewrite it. Let's change color. Be fun. Rewrite it. A equals P1 plus NR. So we would have to distribute the P into this parentheses, and it's positive. So A equals P plus PNR. And we don't have to write the 1 because it would be 1P, which is technically P. So we don't have to write it. You could write it. Technically, you could write it, but you don't have to. It's going to give us the same answer either way. Now, we want to isolate n. So the easiest way we can do that first is to subtract P from both sides. So we A minus P equals PNR. And now, in order to isolate n, we're going to have to divide by PR. Because we want to isolate this n. We want to isolate this n, and it's being multiplied. It's being multiplied by PNR, so we want to divide by it. Divided by PR, so this cancels. So n equals A minus P over PR. And that's going to be our answer. Okay. So that was 1 through 4. Let's go to number 5. I wrote some things here. So we have to solve the absolute value equation. And then when you solve absolute value equations, you have to check them. You have to check that your answer is correct. So what are the steps to solving an absolute value equation? First, you have to isolate the absolute value. Write 2 equations. And when you write both of the equations, you have to negate the right side of one of them. And then you drop the bars and solve it. And last but not least, you have to check your equations. So let's put it into practice now. Okay. So, actually, I'm not going to rewrite it. I'm going to rewrite it. I'm going to rewrite the equation y plus 7 minus 4 equals 12. So now we want to isolate the absolute value bars. And what's right next to it's a negative 4. So let's add 4, add 4. It's going to be y plus 7 equals 16. Now that we've absolutely isolated the absolute value bars, let's write our 2 equations and negate one side. And we can also already drop the absolute value bars. So it will be 1y plus 7 equals 16. And then our second equation is going to be y plus 7 equals negative 16. And then we just solve like we would any other equation. So minus 7, y equals 16 minus 7, which is 16 minus 7, 9. I should have probably known that off the top of my head, but it's a little early. So, okay. So y equals 9 for now. Now let's do the same thing on the other side. Minus 7, y equals, since we have 2 negatives and it's negative 16 minus 7, technically we're adding but keeping the negative sign. So 6 plus 7, 6 plus 6 is 12, so it's going to be 13, and you carry the 1, so it's going to be negative 23. And that's our answer for now. And then one of, if not the most important step in solving absolute value equations is that you have to check them to make sure that your answer is correct. And when you check your equation, you have to plug it into the original equation. You can't plug it in to any of these two, especially not this one, because you changed it. It has to be into the original equation. So let's write it here on the side. Check. And then we plug in the number that we got into the original equation to check it. So y, in this case, since we're checking the first one, is going to be 9. Plus 7 minus 4 equals 12. Okay. So what's 9 plus 7? Excuse me. 9 plus 7 is going to give us 16 minus 4 equals 12. What's the absolute value of 16? It's just 16 minus 4 equals 12. And 16 minus 4 does equal 12. So that one is correct. So now let's check the other one. Now let's check the other one. So in this case, y is going to be negative 23 plus 7 minus 4 equals 12. So it's negative 23 plus 7. Negative 23 plus 7 is going to give us negative 16. Minus 4 equals 12. So the absolute value of negative 16 is just 16 when we bring it out of the bars. Minus 4 equals 12. 16 minus 4 is 12, so it does equal 12. So that's also true. So our final answer for this question is going to be 9, negative 23. And that's our final answer. So number 6. We're almost done now. Okay, number 6. Solve the equation. It's another absolute value equation. You know how to do this. So in this instance, the absolute value bars are completely isolated. There is nothing on either side of them that we need to get rid of. So we can go on to the second step, which is just going to be to drop the bars, write two equations, drop the bars, and negate one side of the equation, the right side. So 5m plus 4 equals 5 is equation 1, and then 5m plus 4 equals negative 5 is equation 2. Okay, minus 4, 5m equals 5 minus 4 is 1. Now we divide by 5. M equals 1/5. Okay, let's do this. So that's our answer for now, and let's solve the other equation. Minus 4, 5m equals negative 9 over 5 over 5. M equals negative 9/5. And we're not done yet. Remember, we have to check our equation. So let's do that right now. Check. And remember, we plug it into the original equation. Neither of these two, the original equation. So 5, and in this case, m is going to be 1/5 plus 4 equals 5. So 5 times 1/5 is just going to be 1, because if you think about it like this, everything will cancel, or you can think 5 times 1 is 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1. It's going to be 1 plus 4 equals 5. And then 1 plus 4 is 5. And the absolute value of 5 is 5. So this one checks out. Now for the second equation. So plug it into the original, which is 5. In this case, m is going to be negative 9 over 5 plus 4 equals 5. So remember the negative sign. What's 5 times 9? That's going to give us 45. 45 divided by 5 is going to give us 9. So it's going to be negative 9 plus 4 equals 5. Negative 9 plus 4 is negative 5. Because 5, the absolute value of negative 5 is just 5. So that checks out as well, making our final answer to be 1 over 5, comma, negative 9 over 5. That's our official answer. Let's do number 7. So word problems. word problems are not hard. They can seem a little bit intimidating since it's new and it's a lot of information. But you can do this, we can do this, let's do this. Solve the problem. A high school graduating class is made up of 170 students. There are 124 more girls than boys. How many boys are in the class? So, how many boys are in the class? So there are 470 students, so 470 is going to be the total. And there are 124 more girls than boys, and we have to find B. So let's plug this in. So 470 equals 124 plus B, and we're solving for B because we want to know how many boys are in the class. So for 70 equals 124, B plus B is 2B. Don't forget the addition sign. And now we subtract 124 from both sides. Minus 124, minus 124. 470. Oh my god. 470 minus 124 is 346. Equals 2B divided by 2, divided by 2. B is equal to 173. But you can't leave it like that. It's a word problem. You have to specify your answer. You have to say what it is that you found. So 173 boys in the class. And that is our final answer. So now for our last question, another word problem. A rectangular Persian carpet has a perimeter of 184 inches. The length of the carpet is 20 inches more than the width. What are the dimensions? Okay, so let's draw this. Let's make a carpet. So it's a rectangular carpet. It says that it has a perimeter of 184, and the perimeter is the addition of all of the sides of the rectangle. It says the length of the carpet is 20 inches more than the width. So this is the width, and the length is 20 more than the width. And then we have two sides, so there we go. And now we have to plug this into the equation. So the perimeter is 184 equals, we just plug all of these into the equation, and that's going to make us solve for the width. So 20 plus y plus 20 plus, I said y, didn't I? It's 20 plus w plus 20 plus w plus w plus w. So now we combine like terms. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 w's. So that's going to be 20 plus 20 plus 4w. And then 20 plus 20 is 40. 40 plus 4w is 184. And then subtract 40. Subtract 40. It's going to be 144 equals 4w. And then we divide by 4, and w equals 36. 36 what? 36 inches. So that's the width. Now we have to find the length. And here it says that the length is 20 plus w. So we just plug the w in. 20 plus w, which is 36. 20 plus 36 is going to give us 56. 56 what? 56 inches. And now we can't leave our answers like that because it's a word problem. So you have to explain what you got. You have to explain what it is with the correct unit. This is asking for the dimensions. So the dimensions are 36 inches by 56 inches. So that is our answer. So that's all for me today. I'm going to write my email here again, just in case. In case you guys need to contact me about anything, ask me questions. I'm going to have review sessions next week, probably Wednesday and Thursday. I'm not entirely sure yet, but I'll make sure that I send you guys an email. And then that's all from me. I hope you all have a good rest of your day, and thank you for being here.